Hello out there, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of August. So it is time for a return to our Tuesdays from the shop with Skip. Sorry I've been gone for a couple of weeks, but I've been quite busy. For one of the weeks, I was in the beautiful town of Arosa, Switzerland, up in the Swiss Alps, teaching my yearly course on Irish flute music. If you would like to come to Switzerland and spend a week up in the Swiss Alps with me tooting on your flute, take a visit to my website, skiphealy.com, and you'll find the information about, you'll soon find the information about next week's course, which will be in the last week of July. After that, I had a great time in that a few American fife and drum corps, including my own group, the Ancient Mariners, this wonderful group, the Grand Republic Fife and Drum Corps, who basically stole the show at the big concert in Lenzburg Castle. Lenzburg is about 15 minutes from where I live. There is an old castle up there. And the week ended with a wonderful American-style fife and drum muster that was organized and sponsored by a local group that I teach called the Ahoy Rebels. A very, very small group that did a very, very big job putting on this event. It went flawlessly. The weather was wonderful. Everybody had a great time. There was a great jam session at the end of the event. Bravo. Well done, Ahoy Rebels. There were also several events sponsored by the Swiss Mariners in Basel, Switzerland, leading up to the big muster on Saturday, so a wonderful time was had by all. I also found out there's quite a few members of the Swiss Mariners and Ancient Mariners and Ahoy Rebels and Grand Republic and Wild Bunch and all the various groups that attended the muster have been secretly watching these videos for years, although never commenting on them. So I know who you are. But today I'd like to play a tune that's one of the tunes that was played by the Ancient Mariners Fife and Drum Group in the muster at Lenzburg Castle. This is a reel that was written by a very good friend of mine named Greg Bacon from Massachusetts in the United States. Greg is a great musician, great fife player, flute player, wonderful guitarist and singer and composer of about 1.5 zillion tunes at this point. So I'm going to focus in on one of his tunes today. I played it on the American Fife with the Ancient Mariners during the muster, but I'm also going to show you how it would sound as an Irish style tune on the flute. So a little double dip today for everybody. Now, this tune is called the Marlinspike. What the heck is a Marlinspike? Okay. Here's where I'm going to get nautical on you for the next 2 or 3 minutes or so. So if you're interested in this stuff, listen. If you're not, fast forward to where you see me holding some gizmo that looks like I'm about to blow into. So, first, the word. Greg uses it in the title of his tune, as many people do, as one long word, M-A-R-L-I-N-S-P-I-K-E. Marlinspike. Many times you see this split into 2 words. Again, marlin, spike. You also, a little bit more correctly, see this word as 2 words, but with a G added. Marling, spike. Now, a marlin or marling spike, there are 2 tools that are used aboard a ship when you are working with lines or tying lines together. Now, a little trivia for you out there, all you landlubbers. On board a large ship, be it a large rag boat, a big sailing ship, which I never really sailed on. I've sailed on a couple, but never worked on one, or on fishing boats, which I did work on a lot of. You're constantly coupling various lines together for various work reasons. On board a ship, we have lines. There is only one rope aboard a ship, and that is the small rope that is tied to the bell. So all ropes on a ship are called lines. There are two main tools that are used for tying or creating these various lines. One is a large conical shaped piece of wood, which is called a fid. And a fid is usually used on lines that are 2 inches in diameter or larger to literally pound these lines together in knot or hitch tying. The other one is a smaller tool called this marlin or marling spike. It's usually about this long, 5 inches or so long, 4 or 5 inches. Conical in shape, some of them come to a point, some of them have a little bit of a flattened end. And those are used to assist in tying these various knots, or because sailors, fishermen were often on boats for very, very long periods of time with not much to do, they would create little pieces of art like this. This is one continuous line tucked in with a marlin or marling spike on the end. Very, very incredible work. And this is actually a rattle, created a long time ago by some sailor for his child waiting for him at home, and hopefully he made it back after the trip. Now, there's also, because you learn to tie a whole lot of knots working with these various lines, I actually went back into my old passive memory of knot tying and tied for you today what's called a marling hitch. This is a very common knot used aboard ships to either secure large bundles of items or in lashing sails to masts or spars. You basically take the line, lay it along what you're going to tie, wrap it around, do a knot underneath, take the continuation of that line, wrap it around, tie a knot underneath, and this is a knot that's very, very strong, becomes very, very fast, as we say, very tight, and it's also very, very quick to untie when you need to access whatever it is you have secured. So there you go. An extraordinary amount of blah, blah, blah today, but now to the tune, the Marlinspike. This weekend, I played the tune on the American Fife, so that's what I'm going to play it for you first today, and then I'm going to take Greg's tune and that was written for the American Fife and turn it into a tune for the Irish flute. So, Greg Bacon's composition of the Marlinspike, At Long Last. So that's American Fife style playing of it. As you can hear, all the tunes are individually tongued, or the majority of the notes are individually tongued. There's a couple of slurs here and there, tying the notes together. So now I'm going to play it as more of a Irish style tune on the flute. Excuse me for a minute. Because now I'm all tight with Fifey embouchure, and now I'm going to try to play the flute, which is always an adventure after playing the fife. But Greg Bacon's Marlinspike as an Irish reel. So there you go, a little double dipping action today with a great reel written by a great guy, Greg Bacon, over in Massachusetts in the United States of America. Tune he calls the Marlinspike. Played on the American Fife, as Greg intended, and the Irish Flute because, why the heck not? Great tune. Hope you enjoyed it. Be back again next week with another Tunesday from the shop with Skip. Perhaps the last or next to last video from my current location, because about to move into the new shop. See ya.